Hi everyone, welcome back to ladensercrotchets. In this tutorial we're going to be making this bustier corset top. They say that these corset tops are only meant for those people with bigger boobs, but I'll be making this in size small because I believe all sizes can be able to wear the corset top. So subscribe if you're not subscribed and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a tutorial, and let's get into the tutorial. I'll use these two colors. The mustard is going to be my main color and the gray is going to be the contrast color. Both of these are medium weight. You can substitute these with any medium weight yarn of your choice. I'm going to be using a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. Then you'll need a pair of scissors, some stitch markers, a darning needle, and a measuring tape. You're going to take your bust measurements. Mine is 32. This is in inches. Then you're going to divide this by 4. And that will give me 8. So 8 will be the length of the bra cup. Now I'll take the 8 and divide it by 2. So just take your bust measurement, divide by 4, and whatever you get, divide it by 2. So this gives me 4, and this is my reference. I'll work the first half of the bra cup, then I'll work the second part, which will give me the 8 inches. Start with a slip knot. Then chain 2. So we're just going to yarn over, pull through, that is 1 and 2. Then we're going to work into that first chain that we have. Yarn over, go into that first chain and work a double crochet. So yarn over, go into the chain. I've made it tighter because I don't want a gap to be left there. So you've yarned over and put your hook through, then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through the remaining 2, and that is a double crochet. You're then going to go back into that same stitch and put your hook through and yarn over, do a single crochet. You have 2 loops, pull through the 2, then you're going to yarn over into the same stitch, you're going to place a double crochet. So that's our first row, and it has a double crochet, a single crochet and a double crochet. So 3 stitches into the same stitch. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. Begin row 2 on top of the double crochet, and you're going to begin with a single crochet. So that stitch was a double crochet, you place a single crochet on it. Then we get to the middle stitch, and into the middle stitch we're going to place 3 stitches. We're going to start with a double crochet. So yarn over, put your hook through, yarn over, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the first double crochet. Into the same stitch, place a single crochet. Then finally place a double crochet into the same stitch. Then we have the last stitch, which will get a single crochet. At the end of row 2, you should have 5 stitches. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. We've ended row 2 with a single crochet, so we begin row 3 with a double crochet. So yarn over, put your hook through the single crochet from the previous row, grab a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the first stitch, a double crochet. Into the second stitch, which is a double crochet, you're going to put a single crochet, and that will get you to the middle stitch. Because we had 5, after 2 stitches we're in the middle. Into that stitch you're going to place 3 stitches, a double crochet, a single crochet, and a double crochet. The next stitch will get a single crochet, and the last one will get a double crochet. So we are increasing in the middle stitch by placing 3 stitches into it. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 4. Because we've ended with a double crochet in row 3, we're going to begin with a single crochet in row 4. So single crochet 1, then into the next stitch, double crochet, into the third stitch, single crochet. Then we are in the middle, place 3 stitches beginning with a double crochet. So double crochet, single crochet, then double crochet. Then the next stitch will get a single crochet. The stitch that follows will get a double crochet, and the last stitch will get a single crochet. We are done with row 4. Chain 1 and turn to begin row 5. We begin row 5 with a double crochet because we've ended with a single crochet. So double crochet, The next stitch will get a single crochet. The one that follows will get a double crochet. Then the fourth one gets a single crochet, and after the fourth stitch we are in the middle stitch. Place 3 stitches beginning in the with a double crochet. So double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. Then do a single crochet next, a double crochet next, single crochet next, and finally in the last stitch, which is a single crochet, we place a double crochet. Chain 1, turn to begin row 6. Because we've ended with a double crochet, we start with a single crochet followed by a double crochet followed by a single crochet into the next stitch, double crochet next, single crochet. That's a total of 1 2 3 4 5 stitches. That gets us into the middle stitch, and there we start with our double crochet, single crochet, double crochet. The next stitch will get a single crochet, and then we alternate. Next is a double crochet, next is a single crochet, double crochet, and finally into the last stitch, single crochet. We're in row 7, and that last stitch was a single crochet, so we begin with a double crochet into it. 1, then a single crochet, 2, double crochet, 3, single crochet, 4, double crochet, 5, then single crochet, 6. We are in the middle stitch. Place 3 stitches, so double crochet, single crochet, and double crochet into the same stitch. Then alternate the single crochet next, double crochet next, single crochet, and alternate to the end. The last stitch will be a double crochet. Chain 1 and turn. We are in row 8. We begin with a single crochet followed by a double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, then single crochet, and we are in the middle stitch, and we're going to place the 3 stitches, double crochet, single, double, then to alternate to the end. I'm done with the 8 rows, and I'm going to measure that to see what I have. The length, you're measuring like this. And I forgot to mention that after dividing your cap by 2, you're going to subtract 1. So I divided by 1 by 2 to get to 4. So after subtracting 1 inch, it should be at 3. So the length of this cap right now is 3 inches. And from here, I'm going to work differently. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to work 4 rows without an increase. So we've been increasing in every row. So from here, row 9 up to row 12, it's going to be 1 stitch into every stitch, just alternating the double crochets and the single crochets. So begin with a double crochet. I've done the first double crochet, and I'm going to mark the 8th row just so I can keep my row count in check. So mark the 8th row, then work 4 rows without an increase. So from this point, I'm going to work 4 more rows. This is row 9. I'll be working up to row 12 without increasing. Make sure that wherever there was a single crochet, you're placing a double crochet. Wherever there was a double crochet, you're placing a single crochet. At the end, chain 1 and turn. I've just ended with a double crochet, so I start with a single crochet. So I'll go on, work this row and 2 more to get me to 12 rows, then I'll be back. I'm done with the 4 rows with no increase, and as you can see, the cap starts to curve in to form that cap. Now we start reduction, and when you're reducing, you need to know the number of stitches you worked in this last row that we marked before getting to the middle stitch. Mine was 7, so if yours were 8, you're going to work 8 stitches first before we can reduce in the middle. If they were 9, you'll work 9 first before getting to the middle. So chain 1, turn. I'll work my 7 stitches beginning with a double crochet. 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So after my 7 stitches, I'll be reducing in the middle, and I'm going to combine 3 stitches into one. So I'll put my hook into the first stitch, grab a loop, put into the second stitch, yarn over, grab a loop, put the hook into the third stitch, yarn over, and grab a loop. I'll have 4 stitches, 4 loops on the hook, then I'll yarn over and pull through all the 4 for a reduction. Then the next stitch will get a double crochet, then a single crochet next, double crochet next, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, then double crochet. Chain 1 and turn to begin the next row, which is my row 14. Now we count in backwards. We were at 7, so we are going to work 6 stitches now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Once you get to the 6th stitch, you're going to combine 3 stitches beginning in this. So 1, 2, and 3. Then yarn over, pull through all the loops. Work a double crochet next, and you're going to have 6 stitches. So 1, single crochet, 2, double crochet, 3, single crochet, 4, double crochet, 5, and finally single crochet. That's the 6th stitch. Chain 1 and turn. We work 5 stitches before the reduction now, beginning with a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then reduce. 1, 2, 3. Then work the last 3 stitches. So we are at 5 now. We count 4, chain 1 and turn. We begin with a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then reduce in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Then the last 4 stitches. Next we count 3, chain 1 and turn. Then we count 3 stitches, beginning with a double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Then combine 3 stitches. Then we have 3 last stitches, the last 3 stitches. Chain 1, turn. We start with 2 stitches, a single crochet and a double crochet, then combine the middle ones, 2 and 3. Finally finish with the last 2 stitches, double crochet, then finally single crochet. Chain 1 and turn, begin with a double crochet, then combine the middle 3 stitches, then the last stitch is a double crochet. We have 3 stitches, chain 1 and turn, then combine those 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to chain 1, and at that point we are done with the bra cap. Next we do an extension on one side. We'll do an extension on one side, then another extension on the other side. And although we're going to work the two sides differently, I'm going to pull out this stitch marker. I've already chained one, so I'm just going to turn, and then I'll work on this side all the way to this corner, beginning with the stitch that is next to that, to my hook. Place a single crochet. Then the stitch that follows, we are working on the rows. We have double crochet rows alternated with single crochet rows. So this next one is a double crochet, and it has two gaps, as you can see. So we're going to place one single crochet into the first gap and one single crochet into the next gap. Then we have the single crochet gap right here. You place a stitch. Then next we have these two gaps. So we place a single crochet in one gap and a single crochet into the other one. Make sure that you're able to tell which is your double crochet row and the single crochet row. The double crochet row should get 2 stitches. The single crochet row should get 1 stitch, which is a single crochet. So I'm in the double crochet. In those two gaps, place 1 single crochet each. Single crochet next. And I'm just going to go on placing 1 stitch into each of the gaps till I get to this corner where we started. At the end, I'm in the stitch where I started, and I'll just place a single crochet there. So we have that single crochet edge in. We're going to chain 1 and turn, then place 1 stitch into every stitch all the way back to where we started. So into the first stitch, place a single crochet and a single crochet into all the stitches. I'm at the end of row 2, and so I'm going to chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Row 3 is we're going to have a reduction at the beginning and a reduction at the end. So put your hook through the first stitch, yarn over, grab a loop, put your hook into the second stitch, yarn over, grab another loop. You will have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through all the 3. We've combined the first 2 stitches. All the other stitches to the end will just get 1 double crochet. Not to the end, but until you have 2 stitches remaining. Then in the last 2, you're going to combine them together. I have 2 stitches remaining, so I'll put them together into one. Chain 1 and turn. The next row is just going to be a row of 1 single crochet into every stitch. No reduction, just 1 stitch into every stitch. This is row 4, and then we're going to reduce in row 5. Then we're also going to work row 6 with no reduction. So once you get to the end of row 4, you're going to reduce in row 5, then work row 6 without a reduction. I'll meet you at the end of row 6. I'm at the end of row 6, and at that point we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to work on this other side. We are done with the extension on this. This is the top part of the cap, and now we're going to work on the bottom part. So after chaining 1, you'll work a single crochet into this first row, So right there, place a single crochet into the next row, into the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. That gets you to this bottom part, and we're going to work the bottom part the same way we worked the first row of the single crochet. Now this was a single crochet row, so we give it one single crochet. We have next we have the double crochet row right here, so single crochet there and into the next. Then right here is a single crochet, then we have the double crochet, and just go on, place a single crochet onto all the gaps till you get, when you get to the rows, you're going to work onto the rows till you get to this top part. So I'm on the rows, and each of the rows is going to get one single crochet. So now chain one and turn. We're going to work all the way back to this point, and each stitch is going to get one double crochet, just one, not double crochet, but one single crochet. So place one single crochet all the way to the end, and then you're going to work the last row of one single crochet back to this point. So we work a single crochet to this point, chain one, turn, work a single crochet back to this corner. So the bottom part will have a total of 3 rows of single crochet, no decrease at all. I'm done with the 3 rows of the bottom part, and at this corner I'll chain one and cut off yarn at that point. The first bra cap is done, but then now we're going to do an overlay. Now pull through and fasten. We're going to get the contrast color, which is my color gray, and do an overlay on the bra cap. I'll begin at this corner right here, and I want to work, there is this first row that we did of single crochet, so you want to work onto that first row. You're going to put your hook like this, so you're putting it through, or you can fold your cap like this at the point where you want to work, at the point where you had the first single crochet, so that gap between the single crochet and the previous rows. So I'm attaching my hook just before the 3. I hope you can see. This might be a bit hard to explain, but I hope you can see what I mean. So right here and through to the other side, we get the gray yarn, so you want to put the gray yarn through and pull it through, then chain one. You're going to go into that stitch and place a single crochet. I'll work while folding my cap like this. So I'm working in between the stitches, and I want to work over this end just to hide it. Work the next single crochet into the next stitches. I hope you can see this. In between the stitches, place a single crochet into the, don't skip any stitch. Make sure that you're working, after this stitch you're going into the next one in between the stitches. So one more stitch, then I'll get to the point of intersection of the first single crochet on the top and the bottom. So this is what you're going to have at this point. Now we want to turn to the other side on this row, and we're going to overlay like that till we get here where we started. So folding my work like this. I'm working into the second row of single crochets at the bottom, in between the stitches. So I'm at the point where I started, and I'll work a single crochet to connect that point like that. Then I'll continue all the way to this top part till I have one stitch remaining, or one gap remaining at the top. After getting to this corner, I'll turn to this other side and I'll work along the second row, this row right here. That's where I'll fold, and then I'll start working the single crochets in the stitches in between. So you're going to work until you're on the same line with this right here. So I have like 2 stitches before I get there. Now next we're going to turn and work single crochets onto this row till we get right here at that corner. So once you get to the last stitch, you're going to slip stitch onto the single crochet that is next to that stitch that you've just done. Slip stitch, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and at that point you're done with the overlay. You're going to pull through and fasten. And the first cap, or the first bra cap, is completely done. You're going to do another one completely identical to this, and then we're going to attach them together to get the top. So make another bra cap. I'll be back once I have my second cap. I have my 2 caps, and I'm just going to weave in these ends before I start joining the 2 caps together. So I'll weave in the other ends and be back. Once you have the 2 caps ready, it's time to join them together. This is the upper part and this is the lower part. Now what you do is you hold them side by side the way you want them to be, And then you're going to count the number of stitches on these lower parts and divide it by 3. So I've already done that and marked, and we are marking from the middle part going to this side. So one cup you're marking on this side, the other cup you're marking going to this side. Then I'll just turn the 2 cups like this, get my hook and put it through the first stitch on the cup on this side, grab the yarn, and reattach. Then I'll grab the other end on the other side and do a slip stitch. So we're joining the 2 cups with a slip stitch. Be careful not to pull out the yarn. So the first stitch on the other cup, do a slip stitch. Then you're going to do a slip stitch onto the next stitch, then turn your work. After turning, we're going to work a single crochet in between the 2 cups. So right here, do a single crochet, then skip the stitch that you worked before and do a slip stitch onto the next stitch, then do a second slip stitch, then turn your work. Then into this first slip stitch we're going to do a single crochet, then on top of the previous single crochet do a single crochet. You have 2 single crochets, go onto the next stitch on the other cup, and as you do that, work over your end. You don't want it to unravel, so this is a stitch that we previously worked. I go into the next one and slip stitch, then slip stitch into the second stitch, the stitch that follows, that is, and turn your work. In this row we're going to have 3 single crochets, and we begin the first single crochet into the slip stitch that we've done previously. So 1, 2 and 3 single crochets, then slip stitch into the next stitch, slip stitch once, then do a slip stitch into the stitch that follows and turn. You're turning without chaining, remember that. We previously had 3 single crochets, so in this one we're going to have 4, starting with this one where there was the previous slip stitch. So you're going to have 1, 2 single crochets, 3 and 4. Then do a slip stitch onto the next stitch, slip stitch once. I'm still working over my end, and slip stitch a second time, then turn your work. We previously had 4 single crochets, so we're going to have 5 beginning here. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 single crochets. Then go onto the next stitch and do a slip stitch, then slip stitch onto the next one and turn your work. We're going to have 6 single crochets in this row beginning from that slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th one is right here, 6. Then do a slip stitch next into the next stitch and onto the next one, then turn. So we're going to repeat working like this. In every row that follows, there'll be an increase of 1 stitch until we get to the stitch markers. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So the next row will have 8, the one that follows will have 9, and so on. So slip stitch once, then the second time, and turn your work. Now keep going. I'll meet you once I get to the stitch markers. At the points where the stitch markers are, and at this point I'll just pull them out because I don't need them at this point. Then I've only slip stitched once on this side, so I'll not slip stitch a second time. I'll just chain one and turn my work, then work in the first stitch and work a single crochet into all the stitches till I get to this other end. But when we get to this end, we're not going to slip stitch, so just one single crochet into every stitch. Then at the end, you're going to chain one and turn. Start working in the first stitch, place a single crochet and a single crochet into all the stitches till you get to the end of this row. And we're going to work rows of single crochets without any increase and or a decrease until you get the full length of the corset top that you want. So I'll go on, work a number of rows. I want a length of 9 inches. The length of my top at this point is 3. So I'll just keep working rows of single crochets till I get to 9. And then I'll meet you once I get to 9. Just one stitch into every stitch. I've done a total of 43 rows from this point to this point, and this gets me to my 9 inches. So I'm at 9. Now to be able to work the sides, you need to ensure that you end on this side. So I'm going to do an extra row to get me to this side. So chain one and turn. I'm doing row 44. And I'm just going to place one single crochet into every stitch. So you want to ensure you're on that side, on the right side of the top, that is this side. Now we're going to work this side first and then the extension on this side, and then once we're done, we'll do the extension on the other side. To begin, chain one, and then we're going to work on the single crochet rows right now. Begin in the first row, the one that you've just worked, place a single crochet. The next row will get a double crochet, next single crochet, next row gets a double crochet, and so now we alternating between a double crochet and a single crochet. The next row gets a single crochet, the next one gets a double crochet, and you're going to alternate like that till you get to this point. Now I'm going to get my stitch marker again, count the same number of stitches that I counted here, and I'm going to count from this point to somewhere here and mark. My stitches are 13, so I'm going to count 13 other stitches. Once I get to the 13th stitch, I'll mark it there. Then continue working my row of single crochet and double crochet. So now it's single, double crochet. Every row gets just one stitch. Your last row should have a single crochet, but mine has a double crochet. So what I do is I do a single crochet into that stitch next to the next stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch onto the cap, the stitch that is right there, then slip stitch again. So anytime you come to the cap, we're going to slip stitch twice, then turn without chaining. Because the last stitch was a single crochet, you're going to start with a double crochet into that stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, which was a double crochet on top of the previous single crochet next, and alternate like this till you have 2 stitches remaining. At the end, we'll do a reduction in those 2 stitches. At this point, I have 2 stitches remaining, this one and the last one. So you're going to reduce, just go into the second last, yarn over, grab a loop, go into the last, yarn over, grab another loop. You'll have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through the 3 loops, chain 1, turn. We begin with a reduction. Put your hook into the first stitch and grab a loop into the second, grab a loop, then yarn over, pull through all the loops. That's the first single crochet, and that's a reduction. The next stitch will be a double crochet, then a single crochet, double crochet, and alternate till you get to the end. Your last stitch at this point should be a single crochet, and then after that we will do the 2 slip stitches into the next 2 stitches on top. I'm in the last stitch that gets a single crochet, then onto the cap, slip stitch onto the next stitch, then slip stitch again on the stitch that follows, and turn. Then begin with a double crochet into this stitch, single crochet next, double crochet next, then alternate to the end. At the end, you will have 2 stitches remaining, reduce into these stitches. So as we go down, we reduce at the end. As we come up, we reduce at the beginning. And I'll do rows till I get to the stitch marker. Two stitches remaining, so reduce at that point, chain 1 and turn. Begin with a reduction, then next we have a double crochet and continue working rows till you get to your stitch marker. I've gotten to the stitch marker, and at this point you need to count your stitches and make sure that the number of stitches you have is a multiple of 4 plus 2. At this point my stitches are 19 and the closest multiple of 4 plus 2 is 18. Therefore I'll do a reduction in the second row and then I'll be done with it in the row that follows, that is. So I'm going to do a slip stitch once, then twice, and turn. So I'm going to do a reduction in this row to get to 18 stitches. You could have 18, 22, 26. Those are multiples of 4 plus 2. So I'm going to reduce to get to 18 stitches, and I'm reducing at this end. So begin with my double crochet on top of the single crochet, then I'll count till I get to 18 stitches. So I'm doing my last stitch, which is a reduction, and that gets me to 18 stitches. Then chain 1 and turn. Now from this row till we get to this corner, there'll be no reduction, so I'll be working 1 stitch into every stitch. Begin with a double crochet into that first stitch, because that was a single crochet, then a single crochet on top of the previous double crochet next, single crochet next, and continue to the top. Once you get there, you're going to slip stitch twice, then turn, and we're going to work rows with no reduction till we get to the corner. I'll meet you once I get to that corner. I've gotten to the corner at this point. Now we're going to do an extension right here, and I'm going to do an extension of 13 rows. 13 is the number of stitches that I've been counting. So if you were counting 15 and marking, you'll do an extension of 15 rows. If you are making 17, you'll do an extension. So at the end, at that corner, you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work. Begin with the double crochet on the single crochet stitch, then single crochet, double crochet, and I'm going to do a total of 13 rows from this point. This is the first one. I'll do 12 more, and then once I'm done, I'll be back. There is no decrease or increase at this point. Just 1 stitch into every stitch for a total of 13 rows. Chain 1 and turn to begin the next row. Begin with a double crochet and work to the end. At the end, you'll have a single crochet, then you're going to chain 1 and turn and begin with a double crochet. My stitches are 18, so I'll maintain the 18 stitches. So I worked another row, the 14th row, and ended at the top. So what I'm going to do is create the gaps by chaining 1 and turning. We're only going to work with single crochets now. We won't do the double crochet. So start in the first stitch, do a single crochet, do a single crochet into the next stitch, then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1 and 2, then do a single crochet into the third and into the next one, chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, then 1 single crochet and a second single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 1 and 2, then chain 2 and skip 1 and 2, and you're going to have 2 single crochets at the end. So we've created the gaps where we're going to have our straps go through. Chain 1 and turn. This is the last row of this side, and we're going to work a single crochet into every stitch beginning from the first stitch, then a single crochet into the next stitch. The chain 2 will get 2 single crochets. The 2 single crochets will each get 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets into the chain 2 stitch, 1 single crochet next, and another single crochet next, 2 single crochets into the chain 2, and repeat to the end. At the end, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and we are done with that extension on that side. This is what you're going to have. One side is done, we need to do the other side. So when you turn this is going to fold like this on the back part. So we need to do the extension on this other side. Now when you work in this side, we began right here. So when we are working the other side, we begin on the opposite side, that is on top. So if we began at the bottom, we begin at the top. Right now, put your hook through there's this stitch and then there's the next stitch. Put your hook through the next stitch and you're going to count 13 stitches. That is, if on the other side you had counted 13, if you had counted 15, you will count 15. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'll mark that 13th stitch, then get my yarn and reattach at that point where my hook is. So get the yarn and reattach. We're going to work over the end as we go down. Now the top stitch, the stitch on top, which is the stitch on the first row, will have a double crochet. So this first row, place a double crochet there. The second row will get a single crochet, then a double crochet into the next row. As you can see, I'm working over my end. Then next row gets a single crochet, double crochet next. Then do this till you get to the bottom at this point. At the end, my last stitch should be a single crochet, so I'm just going to place the single crochet right there, chain 1, and in the second row we're going to start reducing. Remember, we are reducing at the bottom and the upper part remains the same way we did the opposite side. So from this point, I'll just start reducing at the bottom, and then everything else will be the same as the way we've worked the other side. So I'll go on, do the extension. I'll meet you when I'm working the part that will have the straps. If you cannot remember what we did, rewind back the video to the point where we started reducing and do that reduction. So you're reducing as you come from the bottom going up, then you reduce at the end while working the row that when you're moving to the bottom part of the corset. So do the reduction. I'll meet you once I have the extension on this side. On this side, we actually don't need the stitch marker because we already know the number of stitches that we need to remain with after the reduction. Like on this side, I remained with 18, and so on this side, I'm going to reduce until I have 18 stitches remaining, and then I'll do that extension without the reduction. So if you are done 16, you should remain with 16. If they were 18, you remain with 18. If they were 22, you're going to reduce until you have 22 stitches remaining. I'm done with the reduction on this side, so I'm going to work straight for this number of rows on this side. I'm done with the extension on this other side, and for this side you should end at the bottom before you start creating the gaps where the straps will be. So at this point I've already chained 1, and I'll just turn, then create the gaps, starting with a single crochet into the first stitch, a single crochet into the second stitch, chain 2, skip 2, then 1 single crochet and another single crochet into the next stitch, chain 2, then you'll skip 2, then a single crochet and another single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, single crochet once, then the second one, then chain 2, single crochet once into the last 2 stitches, then chain 1 and turn, and place a single crochet into all the stitches, beginning with the first one, then the second stitch get a single crochet, the chain stitch will get 2 single crochets, then a single crochet, and work a single crochet into all the stitches. When you get to the chain 2, you place 2 single crochets into the chain. Then at the end, chain 1 and cut off the yarn, and you're done at that point. The main part of the top is done. What's remaining is to do the overlay on this part, then work the straps. To do that, we're going to draw lines at this point and on this other end, then at this point. I'll get the chalk and do that. Get the middle stitch on this point, then mark it. My stitches are 13, so I'll count 7. So that's the middle stitch. Then I'm going to use the measuring tape. We want to draw from this part up to that middle stitch. Then do the same on the other side from here. Then again, we're going to draw a curve from this corner and from this other corner right here. Then it will come all the way to this point and to this other point. So once you've traced out your lines, you're going to get the contrast color. I'll be working with the gray, so I'll reattach at this point, then work a single crochet on top all the way to the bottom. And as I do that, I'll fold my work like this. So get the hook and the yarn. You're going to put your hook through the single crochet, the other single crochets right here, so that this line is continuous. Then reattach the yarn at that point. We're going to work over this end, and before then you're going to chain 1 to secure the yarn in place. Then you just want to go through the gaps, then do a single crochet. You're working over the line that you've drawn. So make sure you place single crochets on that line consistently. Do not skip any parts. That's my last stitch, and at that point I'll chain 1, then cut off the yarn. Pull through and fasten, and we're going to weave in that end. Then reattach the yarn again at this point. fold your work and work over the line. Once you get to the bottom, you just turn your work to the other side and continue on the other line till you get to the top. Once you get to the top, do a slip stitch on the single crochet that is next to that stitch you've just done. Slip stitch. So you're just going to go inside the single crochet on that line and do a slip stitch, then chain one and cut the yarn at that point. So that's what we have. We only have this line remaining, and we are going to reattach the yarn at the bottom, then work all the way up, same way we worked the other lines. So reattach the yarn and chain one, then go back into that stitch and place a single crochet. Then fold your work and place single crochets on top of the line. That's my last single crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch on the double crochet that is next to this line on the inside of the cap, then chain one and cut the yarn. Pull through, then fasten. We are done with that overlay on the bottom of the corset. Now we only have the straps. We are remaining with the straps now. So we're going to reattach the straps at the top, and you need to divide the stitches on the top of the cap by 2 on both sides. So count the number of stitches that you have and get the middle stitch. This is my middle stitch on this side of the cap, and I'm just going to do a slip knot, then reattach the yarn. So now, instead of going on this top stitch, I'll go to the stitch on the bottom just to ensure that this part will not be stretched out. So I'll go to this stitch right there and put my yarn through and do a slip stitch, then chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, then yarn over, go into that same stitch with a double crochet, chain 3, go in between the 2 double crochets. We have the chain 3 and the double crochet, those are 2 double crochets, so go in between and place a double crochet, then chain 3, in between the 2 stitches place a double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in between, chain 3, and then do a double crochet. And this is what you're going to repeat till you have the length of the strap that you want. Do that on this side, then do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do 80 rows on this side and 80 rows on the other side. That will be a strap that is long enough to attach. I have my 2 straps attached, and at the end of each strap I'll chain 1 and cut off the yarn, then pull through and fasten and make a knot at that point. Make sure the knot is close to the stitches. Then after making the knot, just cut off the yarn. Make sure that you don't cut too close to the knot. I've already done that on the other side, and what's remaining is to weave in the ends, and the top will be ready to wear. So just get my darning needle and weave in these ends, beginning with this one. After weaving in all the ends, this is what we have, and our corset top is ready. You can just turn it to the other side and then attach the straps. So you're just going to get 1 strap and bring it to this side. The one on the left will come to the right, the one on the right goes to the left, and then you're just going to weave it into the gaps that we created. So thank you so much if you watched the tutorial to the end. If you've enjoyed it, kindly leave a like. Do not forget to comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share the tutorial so that it gets views. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.